I'll never forget the night that shattered the refined calm of Azure Elegance. A fancy restaurant with a clink of glasses and soft murmurs usually set the mood. It was supposed to be a romantic evening for me and my girlfriend, celebrating our anniversary. But then, like a siren piercing the night, a shrill scream sliced through the air, stopping every conversation dead. There she was, Deborah Hensley, standing at her table, her sequined silver shawl glinting under the chandeliers, clutching a plastic champagne flute like it was a grenade about to go off. "This is a disgrace," she bellowed, her voice echoing off the polished walls. "I demand the manager now." Her husband, Michael, sank his face into his hands, as if he could hide from the spectacle. Their daughter, Emily, mumbled something about needing the restroom her second escape that night, I later heard. Their son, Ethan, slouched so low in his chair he was practically kissing the floor, desperate to vanish. Let me back up. I'm Jake, and I've had the dubious honor of levying across from Deborah for 4 years. As the iron-fisted president of our neighborhood's Homeowners Association, Oakwood Heights, she's made it her life's work to enforce standards with the zeal of a dictator. Garbage cans out 10 minutes past curfew? Violation. Fence painted a shade too creamy? She quotes Section 4, Paragraph 1 of the Covenant. Only stark white or V-wine Tage cream allowed. I once had to repaint my entire fence after she caught me using ivory glow. So, when I spotted the Hensley family across the restaurant that night, I braced myself. The last thing I wanted was Deborah marching over to lecture me about my mailbox's slightly faded paint during my anniversary dinner. But there she was, wah-vee-wah-ing that plastic flute like a battle flag, her face turning the color of a ripe tomato. Azure Elegance offered a deluxe anniversary package with a champagne toast, and Deborah, expecting crystal glassware for her big moment, was levyed to find plastic instead. "I paid for the premium package," she shrieked, silencing the dining room. "We're celebrating 30 years of marriage, and you give us plastic? Do you even know who I am?" The maitre d' approached with the grace of a diplomat, her voice low and soothing. I caught snippets something about a glassware shortage and a complimentary dessert, but Deborah wasn't havying it. "A shortage? Unacceptable," she snapped, shaking the flute so hard that champagne splashed onto the pristine tablecloth. "I'm the president of Oakwood Heights HOA. We uphold quality. This is beneath Azure Elegance's standards, especially for a Do La 42 crab bisque." My girlfriend, Lisa, leaned over and whispered, "Is it the HOA tyrant you're always ranting about?" I nodded, glued to the unfolding drama. The restaurant had gone graveyard quiet, every eye on Deborah. Her daughter, Emily, back from the bathroom, tried to intervene. "Mom, please, it's just a glass. The champagne's the same." Deborah's eyes bulged like Emily had suggested dining in flip-flops. "Just a glass? Standards matter, Emily. Accept plastic today, and tomorrow it's paper plates. This is how civilization falls." The manager, a tall man in a flawless suit, stepped in with a slight bow. "Madam, I apologize sincerely. An issue in our dishwashing department depleted our crystal stock. We'd be happy to offer complimentary desserts and after-dinner drinks." For a second, I thought he defused her, but Deborah clutched her pearl necklace like it was her lifeline. "Desserts? This isn't about cake, it's about principle. I'll report this to the Better Business Bureau tomorrow. I have 300 Yelp followers, and they trust my revyus." Michael, who'd been shrinking into his seat, finally spoke, his voice weary. "Deborah, honey, let's just eat. It's our anniversary." She whirled on him. "Silence me, Michael. If we don't demand quality, who will?" She turned back to the manager. "I want a full refund and a written apology from the owner. And I'll wait right here until you find proper glasses. I won't toast our marriage in a frat party cup." The manager explained, still calm, that no crystal flutes were available. Deborah's voice hit a new octave, her crusade against plastic now a full-blown war. Emily fled to the bathroom again, Ethan trailing her, both clearly done with the circus. Michael sat rigid, his anniversary ruined, his face screaming regret. Then a waiter whispered something to Deborah, and her reaction was explosive, She shot up, nearly toppling her chair. How dare you? Other guests are complaining about me. I'm a VY Tim here. The waiter murmured again, but Michael was on his feet now, gently tugging her arm. Deborah, sit down, bang down. Emily and Ethan returned, looking like they'd rather be anywhere else. Mom, everyone's staring, Emily pleaded. Can we just go? But Deborah was unstoppable. I have every right to demand Sarah VYC. Ask me to leave, and I'll sue for discrimination. Do you know how much we spend dining out? Do you know who we are? That's when a security guard appeared, dressed sharp but unmistakable in his purpose. Ma'am, he said, his voice firm yet quiet. Please lower your voice, or we'll have to escort you out. Other guests are trying to enjoy their evening. The room froze. Even the kitchen seemed to hold its breath. Deborah stood stock still, plastic flute in hand, stunned that her tirade had consequences. This is outrageous, she stammered, but her fire was flickering. I'm a paying customer. The guard nodded. Yes, ma'am, and we value your business, but we also value everyone's comfort. Would you like to finish your meal, or shall we bring the check? Michael seized the moment. We'll take the check. Thank you. Deborah gaped at him, betrayed. Michael, we're not Leah VYing. But he'd had enough. In a voice like steel, he said, Deborah, we're going. Now. He turned to the manager. I'm sorry for the trouble. Please bring the bill. The manager nodded, and the check appeared instantly. Michael paid without glancing at it. As they gathered their things, Deborah found her voice one last time. This isn't over, she declared, loud enough for the whole room. I'll have this tacky place shut down. The guard stepped closer, and she finally let Michael lead her out, still gripping the plastic flute like EVY denke of a crime. Her family trailed behind, apologizing to staff and diners as they went. When the door closed, the restaurant exhaled. Conversations crept back to life. Lisa and I just stared at each other. Wow, she said. Is she always like that? I sighed. This was her holding back. You should see her at HOA meetings. The next day, chaos erupted at the Hensley house. Emily's car was out front, and she and Ethan were helping Michael load boxes into it. Deborah was nowhere in sight. By the end of the week, an emergency HOA meeting was called. I went, curious, and learned Deborah had been ousted as president by unanimous vote. A VY Deo of her meltdown had gone VY Rel, tagging her as the Oakwood Heights HOA head, and homeowners flooded the board with complaints about her bringing disrepute to our community. The final nail? The restaurant slapped her with a due loss $6,000 fine for disrupting their business and filed a defamation lawsuit over her scathing online re-VYUs and social media rants. As the meeting ended, I saw Deborah on a bench outside the community center. Her usual perfect posture was gone, her shoulders slumped. Our eyes met, and for the first time, I saw something new in her face humility. She opened her mouth, maybe to speak, but closed it, tears brimming as she looked away. What do you think? Was Deborah's outburst justified? Or did she take her standards too far? Should her family have backed her up, or were they right to shut her down? And what about the restaurant? Did they handle it well? Or should they have given her the crystal she demanded? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if this story got you fired up, and subscribe for more wild tales.